everybody. This is our little video of our visit to Chester, and then on to Ellesmere Port and back again.
And for those of you who are curious, it is 7:05 PM.
Yes.
Yeah, well past gin o'clock. We was actually going to film this little section outside. We've got the camera all set up, but some viewers of ours
are moored just
behind us, and Alan and
Jane,
yes,
made scones.
Fresh scones. Well, she made scones, but when she realised I prefer scones, she actually told me. Luckily, they were scones.
And she invited us round for tea.
Yeah, so nice freshly baked scones and cup of tea.
They were lush.
Yeah, so nice to sit and have a put
Thank
the world
you,
to rights.
Jane. Thank you, Alan.
With Jane and Alan. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we're now filming it inside
because it started to spit with rain.
Yeah, it started to spit with rain, which is welcomed after today's.
Yeah, it's been 27 degrees today. It's been really
very warm,
and still. I don't know whether you'd understand that. It's been very still and sticky. Yeah.
Still. Yeah. So. Chester Basin, Tower Wharf.
Yes.
Is it Tower Wharf?
Tower Wharf.
Yeah. So moored up there, and
it's got all the facilities you need: water, Elsan, pump out.
The rubbish, we couldn't find that there isn't rubbish there. The rubbish is actually at the top of the North Gate staircase, which is only a minute's walk back.
Yeah, not that far.
So not too bad. And if any of you guys want to get in for the pump out, you have to go into I've written it down. Graving lock.
Yeah.
And that would have been the lock that you would have gone down through into the lower basin to then go through the river lock onto the River Dee. Yeah, which isn't used anymore. You can't actually go through there, but you can actually get into the top lock. You reverse into the top lock or come in pointy end, depending which way you're facing, to get to the actual pump out facility. So just a little bit heads up there for any of you guys travelling there. Where are we going, Deborah?
We're going into the old town that apparently is very, very pretty, Chester.
Debbie's obviously seen something she liked because she's gone off on a sprint. Field. So what's your views on Chester?
For shopping, absolutely marvellous. Not keen on it, lots of people, due to the situation of the world, but it is a lovely town, city.
And the good thing about being dragged in closed shops, they've got the air conditioning turned up full blast, so it's actually very cool.
And well, Chester is a nice little gem actually.
Yeah,
it's lovely,
beautiful
town.
city.
Oh, city. Yeah, I say town, city.
Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although we didn't really.
We did a quick walk around.
Yeah, through the actual town. Beautiful, wood faced. Is it Tudor?
I don't know, but oldie weldy. It looked oldie weldy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you've got the lovely walled bit, as you could see when we was going through. You've got the city wall. Lots to see, but we didn't really get to see it all.
No, I think we'd mentioned before that we're going back to. Well, we have been back, but actually in video time we haven't been back. So I maybe even shouldn't mention whether I have been back or not. I don't know whether I have been back.
He's a monkey.
Yeah, but we was on a time schedule to get back to a certain place to put the boat in, to hire a car, to go back to our hometown.
Yeah, and to get...
Yeah, so we didn't get to spend as long as we would have liked in Chester.
But it's one that we will be going back to, 100%.
Yes. So the North Gate staircase, I've just actually found where the sign is explaining how to operate the locks. Just there at the lock landing. but the trouble is, like us and others, if you had a boat coming out of the lock, chances are you're going to go straight into the lock, looking for a sign, and like me, you'll look all around here, you'll look back towards where the sign was, and you'll see nothing. So it might pay CRT to actually put a sign on this big concrete column right next to the lock, and I think that would be helpful to a lot of boaters.
And while we were there, there was a couple of nights of mega storms. I think it happened all over England, but mate,
it was just flash after flash.
It was a spectacular storm.
Yeah, the Tower Wharf where we are, although you've got blocks of flats all around, there's no street lighting, so it's very, very dark. Yeah. But then, just with the flash of light, the buildings are just illuminated. And really, really heavy rain. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're leaving the wharf in Chester. Been absolutely fantastic here, even with the thunderstorms. It's quite nice seeing all this illuminated at night time. And we'll be back on the way through because we're only going to go up to Ellesmere, but we'll probably only stay just the one night when we come back through.
Yeah, so we left Chester to head towards Ellesmere Port. We had been warned about the weed, but we had no idea it was as bad as it was.
Yes.
The dreaded penny wort.
Yeah, you'll see it in the footage, and it's very thick and then very deep matted roots underneath. And luckily we didn't have to go into the weed hatch. We got didn't get the prop fouled, but it would get wrapped around the bow of the boat, and then it would drag other weed onto it, and it was like running down the corridor at school when the headmaster pulled you back, or somebody pulled you back. The boat just ground to a halt.
It near enough brought the boat to a halt.
So you'd have to reverse off of it. I'd walk down the gunnels with the pole, drag it round to one side so you could get through it again. We had to do that 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but worth it, because wanted to go to Ellesmere Port for the museum. Been really, really looking forward to it. And stop laughing, and you'll find out why Dev's laughing when we get down there. Well, after fighting through the weed, we've got to Ellesmere Port, and the kind man has just told us where to moor. Got to go down 2 locks, and the only days that the museum is closed is Thursday and Friday. Today is Thursday. Now, things like that are a perfect example of why you should shut your windows and your side hatch.
Yeah, so as you saw, poor Mark.
Yeah, picked the 2 days to go down, the only 2 days that they're not open.
That will teach him for not doing his little bit of research.
Yes, but hey ho. So we only stayed the one night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I think we didn't get there till 3:30 time in the afternoon. So we just stayed for that one evening.
You went for a walk?
Yeah, had a walk round, and as you'll see, I took the drone up, got a little bit of footage, and it was a sort of just a weird air of sadness and melancholy about the place. I don't know whether it was because it was closed. There was a couple of sunken boats in one of the mooring section and that, and just it's just strange.
Yeah, and it's due to the things that are going on with the pandemic and everything. It's not open as much as it was, and I think people just aren't visiting either. So it was literally, it was dead, wasn't it? There was nothing, nobody around at all. It was really creepy. I thought he thought it was sad and melancholy. I thought it was creepy.
So the wharf you see behind me, Raddle Wharf, and that was built primarily for iron ore. 3/4 of the goods that came through that port was iron ore, all coming down from Cumberland and heading towards the Midlands. There we have the flight of locks. Well, I say flight, it was only 2 locks that we came down today. Now, if you're a fan of cornflakes, there's a little bit of history associated with this boat. Yeah, Big Mare, as she's called, is a dumb barge, which basically means a barge without an engine. So she was basically a butty that would have been towed along, and she's 71 feet long and 14 feet 6 inches wide, and she used to carry between 80 to 114 tons of corn from Manchester down to the Kellogg's factory at Trafford Park, and this was in the 40s, 50s and 60s. So had you been eating cornflakes then, or your grandparents or parents eating cornflakes, chances are the corn came down on that barge there. Yeah, and she was used up until 1974 when they lost the contract with Kellogg's. I suppose then it was done by Eddie Stobbart. Yeah, it's hard to imagine the actual history that's gone on here over the years. Just to think how busy this would have been in 1900. There was ships arriving at Ellesmere Port from Australia, Canada, America, all over the world basically. Yeah, if bricks could talk, they could tell some stories. And I decide to come on a Thursday. Normally we'd just stay an extra couple of days so I could get around the museum, but we're on a tight time schedule to get back to Nantwich because we're hiring a car and we're going back to our hometown of King's Lynn for a week. Staying with my eldest daughter, so we'll be able to spend time with her, the 3 grandkids, youngest daughter, see the best mother-in-law in the world and catch up with everybody. I'm sure we'll come up this neck of the woods again sometime, but just wasn't meant to be. Yeah, so I can think of worse places to be for the evening. Right, now leaving Ellesmere Port, just got a little bit of a problem we want to clear because I got stuck on it yesterday. I'll show you what it is. There you go, point your finger. All that weed there, that is very, very thick, and we got it all stuck around the bow of the boat yesterday and we couldn't move. So what I've just done is just opened the paddles on the upper gates, hoping that was going to flush out, but that's failed. It's just shut the gates. It's sort of worked. Oh well, we're just going to have to plough through it. And that's the problem, it wraps itself around the bow and then just gathers more.
Yeah, so we left Ellesmere Port, got back to Chester.
Yeah.
And we spent one night there.
Yeah, wonderful evening.
With Narrowboat Lena Kelly with Jackie and Pete.
Yeah, we've been moored up with those guys before, on and off over the last couple of months. And a Bickerstaff boat, another beautiful Bickerstaff boat.
Debbie and Colin on their Bickerstaff boat.
Another Bickerstaff boat. We'd seen, and the worst thing is Debbie and Colin had actually been down to Ellesmere Port before us, and they'd posted a picture on Twitter of one of their dogs, and they've got, what are their dogs? Chihuahuas.
Chihuahuas, yeah.
Yeah,
2 Chihuahuas.
Dogs near, sat in front of the big old iron ship that's there, and the cap, I forget what the caption was, something about "Can you spot the dog?" And anyway, I commented, "That's not a dog, that's belly button fluff." And never met these people, and as we left to go down to Ellesmere, they were then coming back, and we got away from them, and "Hoi, it's you who called my dog belly button fluff." So I do apologise for that. And
the thing is, it always comes back to haunt you when you put things like that up. So always be careful when you put things up. Yeah.
So no harm done. We had a
lovely evening. Yeah, we had a lovely evening with them. Before we set off.
And belly button fluff. I can't even remember the dogs' names. Yeah, lovely little dogs.
They were Cyril.
Was it?
Cyril and
I'm sure Debbie and Colin will comment with what the dogs' names were.
But they were lovely little dogs.
Yeah, so we had a nice evening, just sat there with the candles out, just chilling.
Yeah, and lots to drink.
Yeah, not lots.
We had lots to drink.
Okay, we did a hydration evening, as we like to call it. Yeah.
And then got up early the next morning.
Yeah, time to leave the next morning, and Debbie from Woody and Jackie from Lena Kelly was helping Debbie from Miss Amaya go set the locks. Luckily somebody had already come down, so they were in our favour. Yeah,
just had to, because they are quite leaky, we just had to make sure they was doubly empty and everything else. But and those paddles and those gates are heavy.
Well, I say yes, I was on the boat, but Yeah, they did look heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've had the pleasure of being sandwiched between two bigger staff boats. That's Woody, Colin and Debbie's boat, and the Lena Kelly, which is Pete and Jackie's boat. So that's worked in our favour. The gentleman there on the Narrowboat, he's just come out of the staircase locks, so they're going to be set in our favour. Debbie, Jackie and Debbie are there. I feel outnumbered today, I better not mess up. Well, that's in the bottom lock of the staircase. Not sure how this is going to throw me about, we'll have to wait and see. So far so good. Volunteer lock keepers are keeping an eye on things and not gassing. I should be quite safe. Well, I should say we're virtually there now, as the water in the lock is beginning to wear over the top of the lock gates. Here we go. And pointy finger there on the wall is the level system. Basically, if the water is in the yellow, there's too much water in the lock. If it's in the green, it's okay, and below the green there's a red marker. If you've drained the lock down to the red marker, you haven't got enough water in the lock. And I'm doing what I normally do, just leaving it in tick over in reverse, so it's keeping me pinned up to the back gate and making sure the rear button catches on nothing. And so far we've got all the water coming down this side of the boat, and it's keeping us pinned nice and tight against the wall without having to use a centre line. And it's been that warm, we've got a pigeon that's melted onto the balance beam. Oh, I hope it's not going to be a tearful goodbye. You will see us again, so I don't want tears, ladies, okay? Got through those locks rather quick.
Yeah.
Thanks to the help of Jackie and Debbie.
And Debbie.
And Debbie, and my Debbie, yeah. Yeah, but we're on our own again.
Yeah. On our way back.
Yeah, back to Nantwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready to get the boat in the marina for our week back in King's Lynn. So, have you enjoyed today's boating?
It's debatable.
Yeah, been a strange one today with the incident with the cruiser.
Yeah, it started off really well.
Which we either have told you about or will tell you about, depending on how I edit the video. It was resolved in the end, and then helping somebody else by leaving a lock open and being told I'm an idiot. How did he know that I wanted the lock open? And then the lads who see us wanted to come into the lock, and as they exited the lock they closed the doors, despite all the flashing of light and sounding of horn. Unless I was sounding the light and flashing the horn, then that probably confused them. So I'll be glad when today's over.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, not feeling it today.
No, definitely not feeling it. Yeah, so we left Chester happy as happy could be.
Very happy. Had a really nice time, and we'd done the staircase, got to the next lock without getting my book out now. I should have got this ready. I'll put what lock it was here. The cruiser who'd been in the Basin previous with us, they'd left before. They must have moored up, done a little bit of shopping, because they had just pulled up onto this lock landing. The lady had got off the boat, gone and set the lock, opened one gate. The chap leaves the lock landing, goes in. We're then coming up to the lock landing, so we went to carry on in, and the gate closed. I'm pipping my horn. The guy has looked back at me.
And still closed the gate?
Yeah, still closed the gate. So, I don't know, maybe hearing difficulties or what. Got on the lock landing. Debbie went up to say, could we come in?
Did you see us?
Yeah.
We've just come on the lock landing, and she said, I'm really sorry. She said, but we do not share with Narrowboats.
Well, she didn't actually say
abruptly,
sorry. Yeah,
no.
very abruptly. Yeah. So Debbie came back down to me. I thought, well, maybe you may have misunderstood. Tied the boat off. Well, no, I didn't tie the boat off. I'll tell you what I did to the boat in a minute. So I passed Deb the centre line, went back up to the lock, and the guy abruptly told me, don't share with narrowboats. I had too many bad experiences not doing it. Okay, I thought it was, common decency to
share the lock.
Then the lady confirmed this in a very abrupt manner. I got a little bit upset that I was filming. I said, okay, I shan't put any footage of you on, but can you enlighten me? And she said, well, we've had bad experiences with boats and we're not sharing with you. And I said, well, CRT, say you go in together in the double locks to conserve water. Yeah. Now, I can totally understand where she's coming from if their boat has been damaged. Had she approached it differently with, excuse me, we've had some very bad experiences, would you mind if we went first? We'll drop the paddles, and wouldn't have bothered. Or you guys go ahead, we've had bad experiences with narrowboats, you guys go ahead, and then we'll come after you. But it was just the
attitude.
Yeah, so it put a bit of a downer on the day, but I thought, not going to let this spoil the day. Anyway, she had a change of heart.
Yeah.
Came back down and said, we will give it a go on the next lock. We'll wait for you. So they went up through this lock by themselves, drained the lock down, went in, filled the lock, got to the next lock, and they said, well, you go in first. And so I go in first. Guy comes in the cruiser, rams into the back of me, could have damaged his own boat. Yeah. And it was a very frosty 2 additional locks.
It wasn't pleasant.
No, a deathly silence and a horrible atmosphere. So we actually, when we left that third lock, the second lock we'd shared with them, we said, we're going to stop for a brew, you go on ahead.
Yes.
And they
rather
did.
than just have that whole frostiness, we just let them go ahead.
We weren't even going to mention this.
But it is that whole...
But we tried to keep the videos upbeat and cheery, but not sanitise them to the point where we're omitting what does happen in real life. And there's not normally any negative crap in our videos, because nothing like that ever happens. No. So it was a minor incident.
I mean, the thing is, the reason I wanted to put this in is because it is a factor when there's double locks. If you're following somebody and they say that no, they don't want to share a lock with you, they're going up a double lock. And
as I had to explain, we've got 4 or 5 locks. We're going to have to wait behind
every single time.
Which
that
I think is why she then had a change of heart.
Yeah.
Reconsidered it, and apart from them bashing into the back of our boat on that first lock, we got through okay. So maybe it will give them I don't know, not the chance,
I don't know what you'd call it.
Regain their confidence with narrowboaters. Yeah. If they have had a bad experience, had their boat damaged, it could have been with a less experienced boat, and not to tar all
narrowboats with the same brush.
Yeah. And again, she could have approached it a little bit more diplomatically.
Yeah.
But that's why we put it in this week's video. Yeah. But no harm done.
There wasn't. It like I say, it puts a little bit of a dampener on it. But you try and think it's just one incident. Oh, so we thought.
And then an hour later, the incident with the hire boat with the lads, which I think we mentioned in the video, and then the other boats who we left the lock open for, and who was very disgruntled. But hey ho,
that's about it.
Yes,
Got through without the giggles.
Yes, we did. Which doesn't mean that we're not in a bad mood. We're just in a sensible mood, and
I'm hungry as well.
For reasons beyond our control, we've been meeting up with a lot of people the last few days, and we've been sat outside till quite late, so by the time we've come in, it's been too late to cook.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 nights. One night we've done a quick tuna pasta, very late. Last night we've done a quick pot noodle, very late. And tonight we're having a prawn biryani, and it's 7:30.
It doesn't take that long to cook.
No, so hopefully we should eat by at least by 8:30. Yeah, so I think that was our incentive to get through this without waffling. Yeah. So big thank you to all of this week's new patrons.
Yes, thank you so much.
I need to put the glasses on for this bit. We've got Kay and Gary. Thank you very, very much.
Ricardo Nunez and Carla.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And Neil Catton.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. And we got Stephen Brody for your continued support over on PayPal.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, couldn't do it without you guys. So if you've enjoyed this video, press
the like button.
If you haven't already subscribed,
press the subscribe button.
And we had somebody say to us the other day, and this is the older demographic, how do I subscribe? What does it cost? It doesn't cost anything to subscribe.
Subscribe is free.
You're just logged into your YouTube or Google account, and you just hit the subscribe button. And that's all you have to do. It doesn't cost you anything. And hit the bell icon.
And then that'll inform you when we put out videos.
Yes.
And your comments. Please keep
the comments coming. We love those.
Love your comments.
Yeah. And see you all next week.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.